Have you guys ever tried to start a meeting and been on mute? Not always the most effective thing. Wanted to just say good morning and welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining our Friday webinar. We're excited to have you, and we're excited to have Drew Lee on the program with us today. Drew, welcome. Glad to have you back, man. It's been a minute.
It has. It has. Lots happened. Lots of excitement that's been happening.
For sure. And want to catch up on that today. We got an exciting topic, but how's everything? You having a good summer? Everything well for you and your family?
You know, everything's great. I appreciate you asking. I think it has been a head down, knuckle grinding, every day go to work. And one thing that I hear from a lot of real estate agents is like, all right, I'm doing good. How's everyone else doing? And I'm like, well, you're doing good simply because you're working every day. And I think honestly, the key of succeeding right now is, are you waking up every day and treating this like a job so you don't end up having to go get one? So it's like when I say a lot's happened, it's like the markets happen, the environments happen. There's a lot of changes in the technology world and all exciting things. And at the end of the day, regardless of what's going on in the external world, you have to wake up and go to work.
We do. Yeah, we got to put our gritty hat on and go to work and just exude effort every day. And it's been a challenge. The last 18 months have been challenging, but there's opportunities for success now. And I really feel like, Drew, if we're stacking listings now, we're going to set ourselves up for just ultimate success in the next few months. So
100%.
Well, again, thanks for joining us. I know Debbie has been traveling this week, and so appreciate you filling in for her today. We want to talk a little bit today about the challenge of getting past rejection, getting past the no, and there's a lot to talk about there. But we're short and sweet on these calls. It's 30 minutes or less, so we're going to get right into it if you don't mind. I don't know if you have slides. I think we're just. Oh, look at this! You do. You get some slides today too. Yeah. Even better.
Except it's not with Debbie DeGroat, so I trust the ended will work. I'm not a great body double either, but I'll do my best.
Absolutely. For all those that are joining us, Drew, that haven't met you before, give us a quick 15-second rundown or introduction about yourself.
Sure, I appreciate that. I've been in the real estate business. I was former military, served in the United States Navy. I got into the real estate business coming right out of the Navy into 2003. And while I was working, I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in psychology, which I remember once a buyer said, so you have a degree in psychology, or you're not using it? And I was like, leaned back and I was like, you're right, you're signing an offer. I think I'm using it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that led me into the world of professional coaching and personal development. And I started being a coach in 2009. And I can honestly and proudly say and happily say I've been doing it ever since.
So cool. Yeah, and you've been doing it very, very well. Just want to put a plug in for everybody. If you haven't worked with or met or heard from Drew before, he does just a fantastic job. So I definitely look him up and connect with him. Can we connect with you on socials or on LinkedIn? Or
connect with me on social media. I'm easy to find because my name is Drulee. So I'm really easy to find. That's the one benefit of my parents spelling me with a unusual spelling. Is I'm easy to find on social media. You can find me also on Instagram. Please reach out, DM me if I can do anything for you.
Love that. Well, here we go, Drew. We talk about, are good salespeople born or are they made? It's the same thing in athletics. It's the same thing with any skill set. I tell my boys all the time, hey, listen, it's not really about, you weren't born with this. It's just repetition, right?
Yes.
We got to go get those reps every day and start stacking days. And want to definitely talk through that a little bit today.
Well, it's anything can be trained. It's like, do you have two components? Do you have the will and do you have the skill? The willingness to do the job has to come from you. The willingness to do the work, to put the effort in, that has to come from you. But the skills can be developed, and they can be developed over time with practice, with repetition. So I can say anybody on this call, if you want to get better, you're in the right place. And if you want to get better, continue to show up for these type of events and programs that we offer so you can improve and you can become the best possible salesperson there is. I would say it's a myth that great salespeople are often not fearful of rejection. They're not afraid of it. The great salespeople, they're like titans. They've got, ice for veins and ice for blood, and it's not that's not the case. There's not a time where I go into a call talking to somebody that I don't know or that I haven't spoken with in a while, and there's not a little bit of a nervousness. That's just a natural thing. Everyone feels that way right up until they make that first call, and then it's game on. So it's natural if you fear a little bit of like, all right, what's going to happen? What's the outcome of this call? The
Yeah.
skill of getting past the no is like a muscle that we're just going to need to develop and work out. It's like going to the gym.
You call it natural, Drew. I just think you're not human if you don't have some of these reluctancies, right? Like we're all human, and we're finding ways to get past these reluctancies to really shine and succeed in this market that we're in.
If something feels or sounds like you've got to get ready or get ready to take action, that's that moment of fear that says, oh, okay, well, I need this, or I need this, or I need this, or I need this. What we need to do is just make that first phone call, because the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the ones after that are so much easier. And the more repetition you get into it's just like going to the gym. You go to the gym, probably the first time, if you haven't been in a while, you're going to come away sore. You're going to come away fatigued. It's going to be hard. You may move a little slower the next day, but if you keep doing it, muscle builds, your endurance builds, your energy builds, and crazy as it sounds, it's something you start looking forward to.
Drew, I started my career. I did 2 summers of summer sales. I was knocking doors. I was getting rejected all day in the summer heat, right? And I hated sales early in my career. And I read a book. I think you've probably read it before. It's in my top 5. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I love this book because it changed my mindset. What he said is, listen, if you're going to succeed in sales, you've got to be willing to double your failure rate. And at the time, I was hiding from all the no's and trying not to get rejected. And my mindset shifted where it was like, okay, I got to go get 50 rejections, 100 rejections, and actually embrace the rejection or the no. And that changed my mindset so differently from trying to hide from it to like doubling down into it, right? And anyway, I just hope as we think about overcoming objections, overcoming the no's or the rejection, that we think about that in our business as well as how to embrace it and kind of get past it as fast as possible, right?
Well, I read once, and I thought it was a great little analogy or story that said, if you look at the history of gold mining, for example, and you go way back in the 1800s when like gold was first discovered, the original gold rush, gold fever, what they describe is that the original, panning for gold, mining for gold, you weren't looking for gold. You were sifting through dirt. And if you look at the evolution of gold mining, if you watch any like Discovery channels today where you see their gold mining or the gold mining the human surface or like the ocean floor, what they're doing is they're sifting through dirt. They're vacuuming dirt. They're blowing up mountains. They realize in gold mining that the faster you can move dirt, the quicker you can find gold. And gold is the getting to the yeses. But you're not looking for the yes. What you're doing really is sifting through no's, sifting through the dirt. And the faster you can do it, the quicker you're going to find those nuggets. You're going to get to a yes. And that gold fever was actually the obsession for finding the gold or finding the yes.
Yeah.
And it's the exact opposite of what we need to be focusing on.
Yeah, no question.
What I think is true is if you're not getting what you want, it's so often because we're simply not asking for what you want. I'm looking for somebody who wants to buy a home, sell a home, invest in real estate, anyone that I can help. I'm looking for somebody, maybe you can refer me, Shaun, that has real estate related questions. Can you think of anyone like that? Anyone from your kids' athletic programs, anyone from your work, anyone that you know in your neighborhood that might have real estate questions? What, ladies and gentlemen, what is it that you want? Yes, I get you want appointments. We want referrals. We want these things. Are you actually asking for what you want? Or are we kind of like subtly hinting of, hey, Shaun, hey, well, I was just, thinking kind of about, well, I don't, all right, hey, it's been a good chat, and click. And Shaun leaves. What was that about? It's a numbers game. Yes, we still focus on appointments, which is the end game, but start with, we're looking for a lead. What is it leading to? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you investing? Are you leasing? Are you looking for anything specific that relates to real estate? Or are you looking to transact in some way as it relates to real estate where it makes sense to set an appointment? And I think, if we go back to the fundamentals of what does it mean to go over and chase and get over no, it starts with, all right, actually, we're looking for people that's leading to something. They actually have a real estate related need. And it's a numbers game to get through those to find people that make sense to set an appointment. We believe it's a combination of sales language, skills, mindset, and most importantly, persistence. And sales language is not being a all selly type person. It's just language that connects the consumer to what it is that they want. If you walk into a retail store and you have an idea that there's something you're looking for, the best salesperson is not going to say, what brings you in, or can I help you? Because we're naturally designed to say, no, thank you, I'm just looking. Best person says, hey, what are you looking for specifically? Hey, may I see if you have that in different colors? Here, well, may I make some suggestions? What do you think of this? It's having a skill and a mindset, and no matter what, keep pursuing somebody that has especially a real estate related need. There are some great tools and great books out there, and we have some incredible programs with Ford Coaching. And I know we do ongoing training with Landvoice that talks about what are some best sales language and how do you create more confidence. It's practice, it's repetition. There are some great books out there, books called Influence. Debbie DeGroat, one of the very first books she ever recommended to me was a book by Dorothy Leeds called The Power of Questions. It's learning how to use some of your skills and have better conversations related to sales. And then like you and I think we just have this, I wouldn't say it's a natural yet. We've practiced it so much, it becomes natural where when you're with somebody, you start mirroring their behavior, their tonality, their rate of speech, how fast they talk or how slow they talk. And if you struggle with this, good news, you're aware of it. Transformation always starts with awareness. If you ever struggle with mirror matching, or if you're talking to somebody, like you can tell, I talk pretty fast. I'm a fairly energetic person naturally. I come with a lot of energy. That's just who I am. That's how I am. That's how I'm wired. So what I find is if I'm talking to somebody and they're not that way, sometimes I have to like sit back, lean back in my chair, sit down, calm down. Because if I stand up, I'm going to go 100 miles an hour. If they're really slow and I want to reach in the phone and pull the words out of their mouth and say, come on, get to the point. I find that that's where I actually have to match my body language with what they're doing or what they're portraying or how I think I'm hearing them. It's a key thing of people want to talk to people like them using their language, their tonality, their style. It's a much more comfortable thing for them. You know what I mean? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's so well said, and it's a weakness for me. Like when I'm talking real estate and talking to people, you're right, Drew. Like we get so energetic and excited, and we're just thrilled for them and want to help. But we've got to mirror, we've got to match, we got to become that chameleon. And I think, when we get on these calls, whether it's every 2 weeks or once a month, these are things we just kind of got to keep top of mind. We got to keep talking about and thinking about in our crucial conversations with many of our customers.
This is one that's crucial if you're really going to get past no. Practice deep listening. And if you'll notice, the word listen and the word silent have the same letters. Maybe that's by design. Some of you are going to you've never heard that before. You're actually going to go on. You're going to get off
That's
this call,
new
like,
for me. Yeah.
Silent. Listen. Do they really have the same letters? They do. Deep listening is also sometimes deep silence. It's proactive. One of the worst things that we have in our possession today, and many of you are on it, maybe you're even listening, using it, maybe you're even doing other things at the same time. You know who you are, some of you. I promise someone on this call right now is listening to this, watching this while texting or typing or doing something else or having an app open on their phone. You want to practice deep listening? Grab a pen or a pencil. This is this thing you use to write with, and take notes. Especially if you're in front of another human being. Hey, Shaun, would it be okay if I took some notes? let me actually get something. Let me get a pen. Would it be okay if I took some notes? Okay. While I'm writing, I'm actively listening. If I'm on a phone or a tech device with literally hundreds of apps all wanting your attention, that's almost asking you to do something like driving with your eyes closed. It's going to be difficult, probably disastrous if you do it for too long. Take notes. It's the best way I can tell you to practice deep listening. Take notes in front of people, even as you're on the phone, so you can go back later and put those into your CRM and use them. Ask a question and be okay with silence as you wait for them to process and answer. This is one that can be very difficult if you're uncomfortable with silence. I'm not frozen, but how many of you were just like uncomfortable waiting for me to say something? Or like, wait, it was like, is it frozen? Is it hello? When you ask a question, the gold is in the silence. If you fill in the answer for them, we've often robbed ourselves and robbed them of the response that would actually be a difference maker. For example, and I'm guilty of this, sometimes I will take a perfectly great open-ended question and then turn it into a multiple choice question because I want an answer faster. Shaun, what's important about buying sometime this year? Would it be because you guys need to move or you need something bigger? Or see what I just did there? I could have gotten a great answer, and I would have gotten an answer that's authentic and without any knowledge of where that might take us and what turns and what Shaun may say. And then by turning it into a multiple choice or limiting the answers, I may actually have just broken rapport because one of my answers may not be one of his. Anything you want to add?
Break rapport. We also end up steering conversations that we don't want to. We need their raw input to help understand their needs and how we can help, right?
Exactly. We never know what that would be. Also, watch your tonality and coming from curiosity, not judgment. Experience sometimes works against us because it's so easy at times. Oh, I've heard this before. I've seen this before. I think this before. And you start drawing a conclusion that may have nothing to do with these unique, special humans in front of you. In our desire often to be right or prove validity or prove our knowledge and expertise, it's easy to do this by accident. Don't make someone wrong. Don't prove yourself right while making them wrong. The market's indicating, my interpretation of the market is this, and it's not about this is right or this is wrong. Give me an example. We probably should stop saying your home is overpriced. That's an absolute. They believe it's worth that, arguably. They want that amount of money. Well, it's overpriced. That's like a yes or a no. Remember, people tend to want two things. They want to look good and they want to be right. Us making them wrong is a really fast way to break rapport. So instead of, hey, your home is overpriced, or we need a price adjustment, if we remain at this price, we arguably have about a 5% chance of selling. And based on my interpretation of the way the market is heading and other listings that are out competing at the moment, if we reduce the price, we probably have about a 25 to 40% chance of selling. That's not making them wrong because it's leaving a window for them to still be right in the conversation. To be powerfully persuasive, you need to gain and hold their attention. That's all about body language and listening or deep listening. You can hear when people are disengaged. You can almost hear when they're distracted. You ask them a question, there's either like a long pause or you can tell their response doesn't know what you even asked. You can tell I'm probably guilty of this one. It's easy to talk too fast, especially again, Shaun, if you're excited about something, we're excited about a product, a service, what we're doing, what we're offering, it can also increase their anxiety and tension. So think like flatline. You want to be monotone, easygoing, but most importantly, just keep up with their rate of speech, keep up with their tone, keep up with their volume. Match that as you move forward. And don't talk at them, talk with them. That's going back to don't make them wrong. Our goal is to fully engage. It's like it is a coaching conversation. Well, it's a fiduciary conversation where we're consulting them. We're not just telling them the facts from our perspective. We engage them in conversation. What do they want? What do they need? What's their goal? What's the outcome? What's their timeline? So from the chat box, what would you say, please chat away. What are the top 5 objections or stalls that you face the most? Just like one for each person. Like, what's the one that says, this is the one that stumps me the most, I struggle with the most, I'm afraid of the most. This is when I hit a wall of no and need to be able to work around it. In the chat box, what are the ones that get you? Shaun, what do you hear most? The ones that we're most afraid of, or where we hit a no. Interest rates too high.
Too high. Yeah. Affordability. We're hearing a lot of that right now, aren't we?
Affordability, waiting. Do you hear any yourself, Shaun?
Yeah, I like the commission one that was just brought up. We work at Landvoice with a lot of for sale by owners, and so we hear a lot of, hey, the commission's just, I'm trying to avoid it, right? Trying to save on the commission. I like that one a lot, Drew, just because I think it's one of the easiest ones to solve. Now, as you say and Debbie say all the time, we want to validate whatever the concern is. Like, I totally understand and get your concern about commission, for example.
Yeah, because arguably, I mean, that means you want to make the most amount of money. I'm assuming that's why you're representing yourself for the sale of your home.
Yeah.
So, here's the great news. Shaun, you don't pay me unless I do my job. And you have all the way until the closing table to look at everything. And you get to decide when you sign your name whether I did a great job or not. So if I can show you a way where you can make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort, would you give me 5 to 10 minutes and I could just talk to you about, hey, maybe there are some ways we could help you?
So good.
We run into these things that often we're afraid of. And yet, if you say something and it doesn't work, good. You've eliminated one way that you probably shouldn't do it again. Write that down. What are other ways and what are other top professionals or what do top coaches do and how do they teach that says, all right, you can get past this too. But the objection that we're most afraid of is the one we need to drill, practice, and rehearse. It needs to become muscle memory. I look at the scripts, call them scripts and dialogue, which is our less popular terms. But what are scripts and dialogue? They're polished ways to answer frequently asked questions. Because the longer you're in the business, the longer you're in real estate, the longer you're in mortgage, the longer you're in this side, you hear less and less new objections, less and less new things. You hear the same things over and over again. Commission, objection, rates, waiting. Buyer wants to search for homes themselves without needing an agent. Well, okay, do you mind sharing, what's important about finding your home yourself? That probably will revert back to a commission or affordability conversation. I'm going to go with my cousin or sister or my friend in the business. Certainly not a new one, dealt with that many times. How do you differentiate yourself from other listings? Seeking my listing. All of these common objections to drill, practice, and that objections are simply a question. The question that someone's asking is, I'm going to go with my sister or my cousin or my friend. What's the question there? The underlying question is, why you? Why not them? And in the mind of the prospect, or there could be more to it. It's like, what question are they asking by putting up that objection? Commission. They're asking, why should I pay it or why shouldn't I? What's our answer to that? So every objection handler is nothing more than answering the question that we think we're hearing and we're putting out there. First, we have to determine if it's true objection or an actual condition. What's the difference? Objection or condition? What's the difference? Think about a condition can't be solved or overcome where an objection can. An objection is a question. A condition is a statement of fact. Like, I'm going to move if my job transfer comes through. If my job transfer doesn't come through, I have no reason to move. Does that make sense? So our job is to wait, find out what can we do? What objections or questions do they have while waiting for that condition to be overcome? Is it simply the prospect venting or thoughts that they have on top of their mind as an objection or a condition? Or are they testing you, trying to rattle you to see, are you confident? Are you trustworthy? And are you an expert in your field? If they don't ask questions, throw up objections, you may find that they're either ready to go or are they truly not motivated at all, and you're chasing somebody that doesn't have a legitimate need and isn't a lead. So here's the best practices. We want you to walk away with some things you can practically use, put it into your business. Number one, when you hear a question, commissions, what do you charge? I'm going to use a friend in the business. I'm using other agents. Take a breath. Sometimes taking a breath, calming yourself, and then affirming what they just said is a slow pause, and it's a way of, okay, so you have commission concerns, or so you're considering using your cousin in the business. We can't be frustrated or offended that they have questions. This is arguably the largest purchase or possession or asset most people will ever own. So you're dealing with that number one most important thing next to their spouse or kids, but an actual asset that they own. Be natural, be expecting that they're going to have some questions that come up. So step number one, repeat a bit of what they say to show you're listening. So you have some questions, concerns. You're considering waiting. Interest rates are concerning. Affordability is what's, you have questions about. Number two, ask at least one clarifying question to be certain you understand the issue. So we may be able to go 3 to 4 deeps. What's important about interest rates? What has to change for them for you to consider that now is the right time? Get really, really clear on what exactly the issue is, what's important about waiting, what's important about this home, what's important about selling, what's important about the time frame. And you may need to go 3 to 5 questions deep. And then step number 3, answer or handle the objection in a way that's convincing, trustworthy, without any form of manipulation. So, ultimately, you want to sell your home. You noticed when we were talking for sell by owners, I went to the end of, hey, here's the good news. You don't pay me until I do my job. I don't get paid for anything that I do until the very end, and you have the final say-so of that. That's handling the objection of why should I hire you, or why shouldn't I represent myself? And then step 4, close again. Write this down. It's not in the notes. Every yes is an opportunity to close. Every time you hear yes, think yes, you have an affirmation yes, you get a nod, you get an you get a that makes sense, that's right, you're right. That's your chance to close again. The thing that pushes most people from going for and overcoming no is they are so self-concerned of, I don't want to be pushy. Then don't be. I think pushy people are that way, and that's just their behavior, their personality style. Most of us, the majority of top agents that I've ever met couldn't be pushy. They would have to make themselves that way. We're just simply asking questions, answering, and overcoming. So if you're worried about being too pushy, how far is going too far? Here's what I encourage. Start by going one more close past no until you build up your tolerance, or one more past where you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And you're going to get more yeses. You're going to set more appointments that way. You're going to be able to close more deals. But we've got to stop being afraid of this internal or this external world of no. It's just a question. No, not now, not you, or why is what they're really saying. Because once you find someone with a real estate need, you're already at a yes. We need to figure out what we need to overcome and answer to set that appointment, sign a listing, or take a buyer. What do you want to add, Shaun?
Drew, I want to share one quick story. I know we're up against it, but let me just share this with everybody. I was in a room a few weeks ago with about 20 tech leaders of different presidents and executives of different organizations. And everyone was really excited, and there's a bunch of ego in the room, and there's a lot of opinions and things being shared. And then it came to asking a question of another president of another organization. And they asked the question, and he paused. And there was quiet in the room. And literally because of that pause from that question, there was so much authority and credence to what he said next. And I just want to just really give a lot of just gratitude for what you've shared today, because I think as real estate agents, as professionals, if we will just take that breath, if we'll just pause, the humans in each of us that have anxiety about our biggest investment in life, our home, and all the questions and the anxiety, if we'll just take that breath, if we'll just pause, we'll exemplify authority, knowledge, and we'll be able to share things that are more relevant if we'll just slow ourselves down. So just want to say a big thank you today for what you've shared. If we'll go and apply these things, it will certainly add relevance and a lot of importance to what we're doing in our industry.
Absolutely. And if we can help in any way, hey, reach out to Landvoice, reach out to Forward Coaching, reach out to Debbie, myself, and we look forward to seeing you on one of our future calls.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Take care, Shaun.
Okay. Bye-bye.